Yeah, it smells tolerable.
It smells like shit.
That's all I'm doing.
Well, hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming to the Brohio Podcast live stream, where we simulcast the entire podcast. We do it live on YouTube. We wait for you guys to come on and watch us, and we do stuff. Take clothes off. We suck on each other's toes. We shave each other's backs and shit. Do all kinds of cool stuff on the YouTube stream, guys. What's up, guys? You guys click like, subscribe, pound on that like button, pound in my butthole, smash that like button. Hey, you guys. There's Nate Norden. What's up, Nate Norden? Thanks for coming to the live stream here. I got to find that fucking shit for the Battlefield of Love. They say, hey, man, where you get that music? I said, I don't know. I stole it from somebody. So
Do some more fart music.
it's whatever, man. It ain't mine. It ain't his. See what kind of stupid videos I've been watching all week. Oh, how to work on a motorcycle. Let's see here. Where is the Battlefield? Ooh, there it is. Alrighty. You like that one? Rob? Listen on repeat. That's not it, you son of a bitch. YouTube repeat. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Thanks for coming on in. Hello, Hassan. What's good, guys? All right, you ready to do this?
Yep.
This is going to be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding. It's going to be miserable. I did a lot of research last night. Jake Paul's robot is not a real robot. There's a fat old man inside of it.
Is he fat?
He's very daddish looking.
It's a pretty fucking dope looking.
Looks like he looks like he's old enough to be our dad.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I wonder if it's his dad.
It could be. It's the dude looks like my dad. He's just
Okay.
There's stilts inside there, and he gets dressed up.
That costume's pretty fucking cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah, and he's always come out there dancing and shit. He's flashy as fuck.
He is.
Yeah.
It's really good. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, hell. Let's just do it. Welcome back to the Brohio Podcast. I have Pink Eye. I'm the delicious Nickalicious. I'm one half of the Brohio Podcast. I'm here with my favorite friend in the entire universe.
And I got kidney stones. My name's Rob. How's everybody going? How's everybody doing?
Rob was
falling apart, man.
Rob was laid up in the hospital all day yesterday with kidney stones.
Yeah.
I called my doctor Saturday morning before the Korn concert we went to. And I said, Doc, man, I got pink eye. He said, who's been blowing ass? Who's been dropping chalupas on your
you
fucking...
nasty motherfucker.
He called me a nasty son of a bitch.
That's what it was.
I had pink eye. He had to send me a script for some eye drops.
Yeah.
Starting to feel a little better. The problem is I'm down to my last pair of contacts. That was my last pair.
Mm-hmm.
You got to nuke them at that point. You got to get rid of them. So I got
Yeah.
these old funky glasses. If I take them off, the lenses will fall out. They're all broken and shit. It's hard to see. I called the optometrist today. And by the way, welcome to the cream spot. If you've got puffy nipples, go ahead and turn this off because you don't have permission to be here. But I called the optometrist. They said they're scheduling out until December.
Ugh.
Today, as it stands, is August 30th. Not my friend. So I told that lady, I said, what's your name? She said, my name's Sharon. I said, well, Sharon, you fucking bitch. You better dig a little deeper in that schedule book and see if you can find a spot for the delicious Nickalicious. Of course, I hit her with the do you know who I am? To which she knew who I was because she had my information in front of her.
Yeah, naturally.
But she did a little more digging and found a empty spot on Friday.
A cancellation.
So hopefully that'll give me my prescription's like 4 years expired or whatever, 2 years. I don't know. It's not good, Rob. It's not good.
Yeah.
Much like this podcast, it's not good. But I'll tell you what is good is our new Patreon subscribers.
Ooh, always.
Starting out with Raquel Areza. Raquel, you rock. Raquel.
I see what you did there.
Rockin' fucking Raquel Areza. Thank you, Areza Ramon Raquel. Thank you.
And next we got Joey Randazzo.
What a lot of Z names. A lot of fun. We got a Holden Two Dicks. Not a Holden One Dicks.
Holden Two Dicks.
Holden Two Dicks. Tudix. Tudix. Holden Two Dicks. Is that too many or not enough?
That's two hands, two
Perfect,
dicks. Works
yeah.
perfect. Ethan Fussin.
Scooby Shwee. As in, I accidentally slipped and cut my nutsack while shaving my balls. Shwee. Scooby Shwee, thank you for your Patreon pledge.
Jessica, my pussy burns when I piss.
Oh, God, you need to get that checked out.
Sorry, girl.
Make some kitty litter for that. Phil Hill, as in the guy with the fox next to his name. Phil Hill, thanks for your Patreon pledge, sweetheart. Really enjoyed that picture of your tang, you says.
Tatiana Kozdeva.
What a cool name. She probably doesn't even know she's subscribed. It's probably an accident.
Stolen identity.
Clickbait shit. Joshua, go forth. Don't go backwards. Go forth. Joshua, go forth. That's such a cool last name. Go forth.
Yeah.
Go forth and piss on the universe. We got this new puppy, and I always take her out back to pee. I leash her up, and I got to walk her out there every single time. Ace was trained to stay in the yard. He went to meet the Lord. And the other dog we have, Bruce, who licks his nuts in the middle of the night and wakes me up and comes real hard. You guys can go back and look for that story. It's somewhere. It's really a weird story. Yeah. He stays in the yard, doesn't run. Pepper, though, she's a runner. She's a runner. She's a truck star. So then I go out there in the mornings, and I just go out in my tidy whities, and I pee all over the yard like I'm a dog marking my territory.
Sure. Yeah, you got to.
So the next humans that move in here are going to have a really fucking hard time knowing that I've dragged my glands all over this place and got my stinking it up, smelling it, all kinds of stuff.
That's your duty as a homeowner, man.
That's what I do. Joshua, go forth. I go forth and pee in the yard.
And thank you to Ethan Cressy. Thank you very much.
Milo Anthony, or as in Milo, love your sweet tea, buddy. That Milo sweet tea is absolutely divine. Thank you for that gift to the universe.
And last but not least, Jefferson Gonzalez. Thank you.
Didn't write it down. Dave Ponce. Thanks, Dave Ponce.
Yeah.
You're a sweetheart as well. We asked last week, we said, we as men have something called post-nut clarity. Mm-hmm. And this ties into the Brohio podcast.
Old PNC.
Battlefield of Love. If you have anything love-related that you would like the bros to solve, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com, because then you will be brought into the battlefield of love. Well, I got to restart that. And it was muted there in the beginning. Let's get it going.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. Set the tone.
Got to really get it going. So let's see what we got going on here in the battlefield of love. We asked, who said, as men, we have something called post-nut clarity.
Sure do.
Where we masturbate and we feel very nasty and lazy afterwards.
Yeah.
I said, I wonder if women feel that. And the email inbox blew up. It was out of control.
Good. This is something that I really wanted to know, so I'm excited about this.
I can only put one or two in here. We probably had 30 to 40 different emails.
Fuck yes.
Of female post-nut clarity. It is a thing. Apparently.
We'll have a whole hopefully this week we'll have a whole episode
Thursday.
of Battlefield of Love. Thursday is what we're shooting for.
That's
So
what we're going to do. That's Nicolicious Rob Dog. Let's just say I'm not a super religious person. I'm not a super religious person. I'm already drunk. But sometimes the bean handling gets so dirty, I feel like I need to confess my sins and become a nun. Honestly, even the less dirty ones make me feel like I need to tell my ancestors watching me that I'm sorry. Y'all aren't the only ones. Okay, I thought I got this all rolled together here.
yeah, I can see it. So it's all good.
So there's one. She said, yeah, absolutely, that she does get the post-nut clarity. I think it's weird when the women call it a post-nut. I don't think they get how that works.
Yeah.
The bean doesn't nut. The nut nuts on the bean, if you know what I'm saying. The bean doesn't nut. All right, why don't you take this next one?
Yeah.
This is a question, I do believe.
Okay. Hello, Mad Dog Rob and the ever gorgeous Nicolicious.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you. So I figured I'd send a story in for the Battlefield of Love because we all need it. So back in 2011, my ex and I went to a friend's farm. Yes, a friend's farm do as you wish with that idea, but her and I went off into the woods of this farm, whilst him and his ex, they went off somewhere else. So after her and I had gotten into the woods a bit, I noticed that his cat and too many to remember to count kittens had followed us. After her and I had begun doing our thing, her being on her knees and all, I happened to lay her on her back and started going to town, just fucking our way to happiness. This cat and her damn kitten started to climb all over her. So at one point, I had a thought of smacking one or two of them with my dick just to get them away, but sadly, it was just a thought because I just happened to lightly push them away. So long story short, that night, I had a bit too much poontang following me.
Too much pussy.
Sincerely, the guy who doesn't ever have puffy nipples or too large of teeth, Dorian. Good.
Thanks, Dorian.
If you did, then we'd have to ask you to stop listening and stop writing to us, or we'd have to get a restraining order.
That's really nice, Dorian. Congratulations on your newly acquired kittens.
Some guys get all the pussy.
Thank you. They do. It's how it works, Rob Dog. The bad guys get it all. Here, us nice guys sitting here waiting, That's how it works. Nice guys finish last. So for you guys on here that are single, that are trying to meet chicks, when you finally do meet one, just grab her around the jowls and spit in her mouth the first time you meet her.
They like that.
They like bad guys, like bad boys. Tell her too. Be like, spit in there. I'm a bad boy. Just tell her. I'm a bad boy. Hello, Ohio Nation. Can I get a ho yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I was hoping to get a straight-ish perspective on my situation.
Okay, you lost us a straight.
I recently started a new job, and this one guy at work, Ronald,
It's always Ronald's.
would make it his mission to get noticed. At orientation, he kept looking back at me, and as if I was outside the building, he'd walk by and stare. I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you stare at a Mexican for too long, you're cruising for a bruising. So at first I thought he had an issue with me. After about 8 months of this, and later having his work friend smirk at me and start texting every time he saw me, I started thinking Ronald might be into me. Ronald then moved to the same floor as me, and I made every effort to hang out and invite him to have lunch with the rest of us, but he turned me down every single time. He completely changed. He avoided my cubicle. He looked embarrassed when I waved at him, and he kept any work conversation short. I was so confused. I still am. Do straight guys go out of the way to get another guy to notice them, and for what? And even though his name is Ronald, am I the clown in this situation? Did he want to throw down or get down? Why am I asking complete strangers? Because my friends ain't shit. Thanks in advance. Gazed. Spelled with a gay.
I see what you're
And
doing.
confused. Actually, I'm bi myself. That's what it says.
Cool.
Here's what happens.
That's a good question.
I've been told before that I have a bit of a dump truck, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, man.
I got a full load. And sometimes if I know there's an outwardly gay man around me, I'll flip the goods around just to see if I can get him to bite. I don't want it. Sometimes I don't need it. Sometimes I do need it. But I just flip it around a little bit.
Sure.
Just to see if the cards were on a different table.
You gotta whip that thing around a little bit.
Sometimes I go to the bathroom, I'll pull my pants and my underwear down just to expose my butt cheeks a little bit. And I'll take a handful of water and I'll drag it across my ass cheeks. And get my ass cheeks, my butt cheeks, and my butt crack real watery and wet.
Yeah.
And then I'll walk out of the bathroom with my ass all wet, all hot and oil. I look like fucking Kim K in that swimming pool with the trash bag around her.
Yeah.
That's what I look like. I get all greasy. And then if I know that if I can get him to want me, then I've succeeded in the battlefield of love.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard... You gotta just walk up and grab him on the cock, gazed and confused, to see if what he's really trying to put out for you.
You definitely do. Maybe he was checking you out, and then the fact that he figured out that you kind of caught him embarrassed him.
We're gonna have to do some sexual assault on this one. You have to grab him on the dick.
Definitely.
Unless it's your boss.
Then you gotta
You gotta take his hand and put it on your dick.
assert dominance.
That's my answer for that.
Yeah, he gets work dominance, and you get personal dominance.
Just get peed on. Just walk up to him when he's at his booth
Piss
and
on
just
me,
start
baby.
peeing on him. Start peeing on his back.
Piss on his feet.
If he gets up and runs away, he's allergic to pee. So you're really figuring out a lot of cool stuff in one swift motion.
Yeah.
This is for you. Please don't say my name.
Okay, please don't say my name or do whatever floats your boat. Well, okay.
Reggie.
My boyfriend, oh God, my boyfriend has been cheating on me, and I found the girl's underwear in our room. What should I do? Confront the girl and my boyfriend, or just dip on the whole situation? It's been 3 years.
You found the underwear 3 years ago? Or
you guys have been together for
I
3
think
years.
they've been together for 3 years.
I would assume that as well.
I will tell you about a very big mistake I made one time.
Okay.
My mom bought me a pair of jeans. She noticed that I was getting a little chubbier, and then my jeans were getting a little too tight. This is probably about 10 years ago. I was with my wife. I came home from work. I saw the jeans lying on the floor of my bedroom, which I had worn. I didn't remember wearing. But they were not my normal size, and they're not normal colors for me. And I became irate with my girlfriend, my fiance, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I was upset. I thought she was she's pandering out here, trying to get nasty men in the house when I wasn't there. I found a pair of his jeans, and I was insulted. I was so upset. It turns out they were my fucking jeans, and I just had got a pair of fat jeans and didn't even realize it. And I remember, like, the few days before that, I was like, man, I'm losing some weight. Feels pretty good. No, Mom just bought me some bigger jeans.
Trying to be nice.
Yeah.
What do you do? That's a good question.
Could
So
be a mistake.
my first question is going to be, what type of underwear were they? Now, I would say if they were big ass bloomers or granny panties, you don't got much to worry about. Now, if these are sexy, hot underwear, P.O. Box, Bro Ohio Podcast.
Send them 672 Vandalia, Ohio 45377 P.O. Box.
Vacuum seal those. Send them.
Steal the freshness.
No, yeah. If you found it, it's legit. You know it's happening. Yeah, bounce.
Stand up for yourself, girl, and on the way
Especially
out,
if you ain't about it. Get out of there.
burn that fucking house down with all the cats inside of it. Ruin his life. Take him down.
Key his car, kick his dog, whatever you gotta do.
Or if you really want to get him, you need to just play this fart music for him. No, you got to put on a pair of bloomers yourself, a big pair of tighty whities.
Shit in them.
Eat some really spicy Golden Corral food. And then poop in him, and then make him take them off you. And then when he's like, oh, God, be like, this is what you wanted, wasn't it? This is what you fucking wanted. You left that nasty tramp's panties. That sleazy bitch. And their snail trail.
Or if you want to get really dirty with it, next time you guys have sex, like plan out a time where you guys are gonna fuck, and then make sure you're wearing those panties, so when he goes to take them off, he sees them.
Oh. That would be so good.
And he's like, "Oh shit!"
And then he's like, "What?" Just
So he'll be so confused, but he'll still be horny at the same time.
just stand up and rip a hot and nasty right in his face. Some guys will pay you to do that too, so don't overlook that as well. You can actually, for all you single ladies out there,
Yeah, know your worth, baby girl.
BroOhioPodcast@gmail.com, you can actually get paid to fart in guys' faces if you're a good farter.
Or fart in bags and mail them.
If you're a stinky farter, you could really go far.
Yeah,
If you're my mom, you could go really far because she's a stinky farter.
got them dragon farts.
Yeah. Her farts smell like a dead groundhog. Yeah. All right. So here we are. We're going to the Wild Wild West for this episode. Rob Dog.
Sure.
Hello there, prospector.
Makes me want to play Red Dead.
There I was, coming up the Superstition Mountains, looking for gold. I couldn't make it up the mountain by myself. So I invited one of my best friends, Rob Dog. I knew it was going to be a cold night. I knew it was going to be brisk. We fed the horses extra good that day to help them prepare for the strong winds and the breeze. I wanted to suck Rob Dog's dick so bad.
One thing you didn't know,
Rob Dog couldn't afford a horse of his own. He had to ride he had to ride it super close to Nick to make sure he didn't fall off of that steed. I pulled up to Rob Dog's cabin. I pulled up to Rob Dog's cabin to pick him up on the horse. And he said,
Hey man, you only got one horse.
and I said, I got a satchel full of corn dogs. And he said,
I love corn dogs.
and we got on my horse and we went up the mountain to look for the gold. The only gold that was found that night was the little nugget inside Rob Dog's butt. Sound a lot like Brokeback. I've never watched that movie.
Me neither. I just took that and converted the motorcycle story to horse.
How many dildos can you fit inside that horse?
All of the dildos.
I don't know. I never tried. I usually give them apples. Heads of lettuce. I love horses.
Me too.
I don't want one, but I do like
I'm
them.
good. I have 3 kids. I don't need something else that eats a shit ton of food.
Horses eat oats. What are the...
Yeah,
I don't even know what... How can you get that fucking big only eating Quaker oats? Explain the science of that one.
I don't know, man.
Oh, man. That eagle rear is really good.
It is good.
All right, so the Superstition Mountains. Man, this is a cool subject. This is a cool topic. We get so just run down with the run-of-the-mill murders and aliens and demons and ghosts and hauntings and conspiracy. It's all the same. Not all of it, but some of it is all the same, and it sucks. And the ones we want to do are too big, and we're too lazy to research them. So,
Sure. Yeah.
I stumbled upon the Superstition Mountains here, which is a mountain range on the east side of Phoenix, or as we call it here in the US of A, Phoenix, Arizona. It's a very popular spot for campers, hikers, adventure seekers, and cowboys looking to have sex with one another, as you guys heard in the audio we just played. It's known for its very, very hot summers, its freezing winters, harsh winds and unpredictable storms, treacherous terrain, and mysterious happenings. Anytime I get to talk about mysterious happenings, I'm very happy.
Oh yeah, that's
That
fun.
makes me happy.
Always fun.
And it actually, there's a lot of claims of supernatural beings being up in the mountain range, as well as fucking lizard people, aliens. And there's a really kind of a scary encounter that someone had up there with some lizard people, but
My favorite type of people.
yeah, I love lizard people. There was a knock on the door. I opened the door. I said, "Hey, buddy, there's no soliciting around here." And he said, "I'm a lizard man." And I said, "Well, come on in. Let's get to doing this." I don't think that if in the event that I was tasked with being any kind of, I don't know, if I had like a Batman type figure, like an anti-hero, I don't know, I would want to hunt lizard people. That would be my thing.
That'd be fun.
Because I know we're overrun with them. I know there's a lot of lizard people out there right now. A lot of them.
Start a show like a Dog the Bounty Hunter, but we're just hunting.
It's the bounty hunter.
We're just hunting cryptids.
Man, I think
That's
you and
fucking cool, man.
It would be really cool.
That'd be sweet.
I think we should start our own YouTube channel of us going on these hunts, but just like the same theme we have on the show.
That'd be cool.
Just slapdick comedy, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
People won't listen, but at least we got it out there for when we die. Our kids have something to watch.
True.
That reminds them of how awful we were. That's what's important.
You got to leave a legacy somewhere.
I want to leave a leg. Oh, God. She's trying to get out. Hold on, Rob. I got to let the cat out.
Oh, gotta let the pussy out. I saw her scratching.
Come on.
What's up, YouTube? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Have we talked about this once before? No, we haven't. We're lizard people racists. Well,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah. We need to breed with the lizards. I've said that for years now. It's not fair that they get to have all the power and...
We haven't done the Superstition Mountains before, have we?
Nah.
I'm second guessing myself.
No, we haven't.
I almost did one the other day that we had already done, and I researched
Oh,
it
that's happened to me before.
for an hour, and I was like, fuck, baby. Oh, curses.
Super chat. I don't even know what the fuck super chat is, my guy.
Superstition. Okay, now we're good. Fine. Okay, let's get it going here. All right, sorry. Had to let the kitty cat out. There was a couple tales that were passed down from the indigenous Pima Indians.
Penis. You pronounced it wrong.
P-I-M-A. Pima Indians.
Pima. Yep.
And it's no wonder it's called the Superstition Mountains, because anytime you got the Indians closely associated to a certain area,
Automatically just assume.
yeah, there was the Indians were afraid of this place, man. They were terrified of the Superstition Mountains, as
Leave it to white people to go there.
and that's
If they're terrified.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And as Jen Wolfe reports, many people in the area believe the Superstition Mountains were sacred to the local Native Americans, who believed it to be home of the Thunder God.
Oh, shit.
Oh, who housed a great treasure there that he would protect at all costs. Com Cullenborn's explanation of the types of summer storms common in Apache Junction makes the connection between the mountain and a god of thunder clear and believable. There's some wild, wild storms that get out there, buddy.
Oh, I bet.
Some fucking ragers. Some believe there's a hole in my ass
There probably is.
where a lot of men gather thinking that they're going to get the sweet treat until I close the hole and let them know that I'm a one-man hole. I'm looking at you, Rob Dog. I'm looking at you. Some believe there's a hole at the top of the mountain that leads clear through to the underworld. And by the underworld, I mean fire and brimstone. Hell.
Hades.
It's the underworld.
Yeah.
And it's from this hole that all winds of the world issue forth.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, and now we have an alien encounter with the lizard person.
Yes.
And it's highlighted, which you know what that means.
I do.
You're going to have to read.
It means it's about to get
This
10 times gayer.
Thing is way too long for any single person to read.
It's all good. Alien encounter. So although the dates are not entirely certain, it appears that Angie and the experience that would unfold before her would take place around March of 2000. She liked nothing more than walking and exploring the mountains and valleys in and around the Arizona desert. So much so that she would spend almost all of her spare time doing so, as she was this hot afternoon in early 2000.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
As,
fuck.
as she roamed around these mountains, she would collect various shiny stones and rocks. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
This particular day, a shiny object near the edge of a canyon, which proved to be white quartz, had captured her attention. After breaking off her prize, she began her return journey back to her car, stopping near a cave entrance to take a shit. To take a small drink of water. I'm sorry. I read that wrong.
Okay, that's all right, man. You're doing good.
It's okay. She was rising to her feet. She noticed a bizarre face in front of her. That's scary. She jumped and gasped before gathering herself, annoyed that such a silly mask had scared her so much.
So silly.
Yeah, so silly. Then she realized the face was not a mask at all, but ooh, that was good. But that of a lizard on a human body.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's scary. The next thing she heard was the sound of her own screams before the blackness.
Oh, I've seen those pornos before.
So withdrawn, anxious, and confused, she would awaken in her car. And more bizarrely, she was driving the car and had to gather herself once this realization came to her. She was fucking driving and didn't even know it.
That's good, man.
Oh, man. When she arrived home, she showered for several hours. We've all been there, feeling a need to scrub herself clean, although she couldn't understand why.
I used to make my dad come in after me in the shower. I'd just stay in there, because we were a one-shower family. I'd just lock it up, dude. And I'd make him come in there and get my naked ass, like a fucking cell extraction.
Yeah.
Like I smeared, butter and fucking baby oil all over my body, and he'd come get my... I'm 13 years old with a big old poofy ball of pubes. Come in here and get me, you old bastard.
So over the next several days, she would become increasingly withdrawn. She would not leave her apartment nor allow company of any kind. Even her meals, the ones that she made, mostly went uneaten. She would find herself staring at the television screen instead of watching whatever show was on. Her mind was completely scrambled and not at all at ease with herself. When she did return
Sorry.
There we go. When she did return to her job at a local pet store after several days locked away, someone brought a lizard into the shop.
Oh, snap.
Upon seeing it, she felt waves of terror run over her.
Wow.
So much so that she ended up leaving there and then. Her reaction scared her as much as the pet reptile did. Knowing something had occurred in the Superstition Mountains, she sought help. And through a mutual friend, she would make contact with a professional hypnotist with experience of hypnotic regression.
Okay, so the hypnotic regression hypnotist, you go to them after you've gone through a traumatic event. You think that you might have gone through something, and these specific hypnotists can actually walk you back through the events that took place, even if you weren't coherent or conscious for the events that took place. And that's what a regression hypnosis. That's what they do with that.
Just like hitting rewind on a fucking.
We don't know about that anymore.
Closed caption camera.
What's a fucking
a CCTV?
Oh, okay, all right.
The CCTV footage.
Right.
Yeah. So a recall of a living nightmare. Through several hypnosis sessions, did she recall the events following her scream? She awoke to find herself in some kind of inner cavern or base. Strange sounds like barking or chirping. That's two different sounds, but filled the air around her. Any attempts that she would make to sit up and look around would fail. She was held fast in some kind of jelly-like substance. However, when her apparent captors came closer to her, she could again see their lizard-like faces. Their faces were human but reptile, and their eyes appeared to glow a brilliant yellow. They each adorned a jumpsuit that contained a logo or symbol of a curved dragon with a 7-pointed star in the middle. That's pretty fucking cool. Most of the creatures wore black outfits. Suits, yep. 2 others wore white ones, and one, who also had a paler complexion than the others, wore an orange one. Angie believed that the colors were indications of their rank or position.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which makes sense, yeah. Now, the paler reptile also displayed numerous insignia and symbols on his sleeves. These included inverted triangles and a disc with 3 straight lines running through it.
Sounds racist, honestly, but that's just me.
This creature appeared very much in charge, also standing much taller than the others at around 7 feet.
Ooh.
At this point, something cold touched Angie's head, and she would go unconscious. Then we go to a scene unlike any other. She would awake next to find herself in a strange oval room. When Angie turned her attention to what she could see of her surroundings, she faced a sight her mind had no preparation for. From the ceiling, she could see pipes with strange sacks, oh God, like misshaped balloons hanging in front of them.
If you lay under me while I'm naked, you can
exactly
see some pipes and fucking misshaped balloons if you're interested.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I've been in that position many times. When she noticed something moving inside of these sacks, another surge of terror and disbelief would take a hold of her. Whatever was inside these sacks was undoubtedly alive. And before she could contemplate this further, she noticed her nakedness. Oh, God. She was also not alone, as the presence of the lizard beings came to her. One of the reptile creatures, itself now without its jumpsuit, made its way towards her. Oh, jeez.
And, a lot of people talk about how these aliens, these lizard beings, specifically use us for breeding, and this sounds like a breeding scenario.
Sure.
They were milking her udders and shit, trying to rub it raw.
Mm-hmm. And she finally began an attempt to fight off a powerful creature, but within seconds, one of them began firing a blue light on her, forcing her unconscious once more. Her next memory after that, even under hypnosis, is of waking behind the wheel of her moving car.
Shit.
Although she couldn't recall the actual event, she could not fight the sense that she had been raped by the creature after the blue light hit her. As to the reasons for this apparent attack, and many others like it, there's been many theories, but no answers.
And I'm sorry, Angie, you got raped.
Sorry, especially by a lizard person.
Speaking of rape, Rob and I went to the Korn concert on Saturday.
We did.
And there was the woman next to us.
Oh, yeah.
Looked like she might have been addicted to methamphetamines.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the people at that concert looked that way.
There was a man standing behind her, and they were dancing. And about 2 minutes into falling away from me, he started fingering her.
He was like 2 knuckles deep.
Stuck his hands all the way in her jean shorts, all the way in her LEI shorts. And he fingering her mud jeans. Mm-hmm. He was in her mud. He was in her mud jeans, but he was in her mud. He was definitely overshooting the vagina.
He was putting the mud in those jeans.
I don't know if that guy was very familiar with the female anatomy, but he overshot the vagina hole by a lot, I think.
Sure, yeah.
From my physical standpoint, that's what it looked like to me.
Looked like he was doing the claw.
Then I said, Rob, look, he's fingering her. And he looked, Rob looked, and he started laughing.
Like, God damn it. I mean, I'm not let them do what they want to do, man.
Man, he was really getting after it, though.
He was aggressive.
He was. And they did it for like an hour, man. And I am not a woman. I don't have a clitoris, but I don't think I would want it fucked with for an hour.
Especially in like the 90-degree heat inside of your jeans.
Oh, yeah, and he had bricklayer hands for sure. Those are not...
Those are calloused
and
cracked.
Those are not soft milk hands like I've got right here. Yeah. That guy looked like he'd fucking built a schoolhouse before he went to that concert.
Got those flavor saver fingers. All them fucking cracks and dips.
Oh, Rob dog. You know, Grandma likes corn. Had some corn in my panties the other day that you were eating, Rob dog. You're going with your boyfriend to that corn concert, aren't you? What kind of music do they play? Is it anything like Grandma's old doo-wop she likes to play on a record player when you're up?
Doo-wop.
My blue blop.
Blue blop.
You know, you make Grandma moister than an oyster, Rob dog. Corn. I'll make you some corn.
One of my favorite parts about the Superstition Mountains is the Apaches' tales of the Twartums.
Ooh.
They're like fucking Ewoks that were up in the mountains of the Superstition Mountain. And the Indians, there was the Apache Indians, and there were the Pima Indians. I think there might have been some Cherokees involved as well. But all of them spoke of these little beings and these little creatures that lived up in the mountains, the Superstition Mountains. And they moved throughout the mountains in a cavern, tunnel, cave system.
Okay.
So they didn't travel on the surface of the mountain. They would oftentimes travel inside the mountain. They were like burrowed inside the mountain. And there was various caves and places up there that held gold and other types of ore. When I say ore, I mean like fancy, valuable metals that you can mine. Mm-hmm. And they would protect these areas, and they would keep people out. There was a lot of tales of these Twartums that were kind of running all over the mountain, keeping people away. But they're just like little Ewok angry midgets that would beat people up.
Huh.
And there was...
That's fun.
Even to this day, there's sightings of these things, whatever they are. I think they're just fake. I think it's all a fucking fraud. But I hope it's real. I hope there's angry professional wrestling midgets up there running around.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know.
There's where Hornswoggle went.
We should go check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out. So the Spaniards came over, and they fought with the Indians. Kind of more of like an exploration type thing. This is when the Spaniards were first coming to America. But they were undoubtedly fighting, not coming to America. This is the first time they were coming to this area of America. And they were kind of intrigued by the mountain range and all the types of things they were finding on the mountain range, but it caused a lot of tension between the Spaniards and the local Indians, because the local Indians were very territorial and didn't like these guys being up in their mountain range, fucking shit up, turn over rocks, pissing off the rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than getting woken up, bit on the ball sack by a rattlesnake, Rob dog.
Yeah.
Those are the worst animals ever.
Hell yes, they are.
Why do we need rattlesnakes? I get it. We don't necessarily need Kodiak bears either, but why do we really need rattlesnakes?
I mean, even weirder, a fucking aardvark. What the fuck's an aardvark do for the...
Well, I know what I would have an aardvark do if I had one. I'm like, hey, buddy. Yeah, I know where all those ants are hiding at.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals. You don't know what the fuck the purpose is.
This don't smell like an ant hill. It smells like a crap hill. So the Spaniards, they were pretty gung-ho, but there were a lot of different spots they were exploring on the mountain, but they'd come to call the Superstition mountain range, they would refer to it as the Devil's Playground.
Ooh.
So even the Spaniards knew that There was trouble up on Superstition Mountain.
Trouble a-brewin'.
I don't know how to say trouble in Spanish, or I would have said it. There was locomotives. I've said that joke before on here.
It's no good.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the Mexican train robber? He had locomotives. That's the one, right?
That is. Yep.
That's real good.
It is good.
But the Spaniards started to uncover a lot of mutilated bodies with the heads cut off.
Sweet.
And they started to realize, hey, these are actually our men that we're finding laying around the mountain here. So they were kind of getting a little scared at this point, and and it started to happen so often. So many of their men were getting attacked and mutilated, and they were finding them beheaded, that the conquistadors, they decided they were going to get the fuck off the mountain. They left. They just abruptly left because of all the men they were losing. A whole entire century and a half later, for those of you keeping track at home, that's like 2 or 3 years, some shit like that, or 150. Having heard of the rich gold to be found in the Superstitions Mountains, Jesuit priest Eusebio Francisco Kino, whose objective was to establish missions and Christianize the Indians, which does not sound very easy. It sounds like you're taming a fucking dumb horse.
Yeah, God.
So it was his job to go up in the mountains and tell them about the victory the Lord has given me.
It's nice to know not much has changed since the fucking 1700s.
Gonna force your fucking religion down my throat. You know, the only person that never forced religion down my throat was Scott Stapp from Creed. He said it best. When you're with me, I can go higher. Take me to a place of golden streams. All right? Did Scott Stapp ever force religion down your throat?
He didn't.
What's so bad that he did to the world that make people not like? I get it, 5-finger fruit roll up. People don't like them. That's because they're fucking dumb, man. But what did Scott Stapp do to the world? I think he's got a pretty voice.
It's a good question.
I think he's got a handsome face. If you're listening, Scott Stapp, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. When you got pulled over on your bicycle by those cops and you thought you were going with that backpack full of tools to do some work for the CIA, I fucking believed you, bro. I don't think you should have went to jail for that.
Dude, I forgot about that.
I didn't. Okay, look it up.
He needs to be our show mascot.
He does. We got to get him on here.
We really do.
So this Jesuit priest, Eusebio, he wants to go Christianize the Indians at the Superstition Mountains. He was lured there by all the tales that he had heard. In the first decade of the 1700s, he began to explore the region, finding several sources of gold, though it is not known if he found the fabled Dutchman's mine, which we're going to talk about at length in a little bit. His forays did produce the coveted shining metal, adding more fuel to the legend of gold and the superstitions. However, these expeditions further enraged the Apache Indians, who then began to prey on all trespassers. So he goes there as a Jesuit priest that wants to teach them about the love of Jesus, and he ends up stealing all their fucking money.
Hey, good figure.
How does that work out? In 1748, he stole enough to piss the Indians off. The Indians said, "All right, white boy, you're about to get some arrows shot into your back."
Good.
In 1748, the superstitions, as well as some 3,750 square miles of what is now Arizona, were given to the Mexican cattle baron Don Miguel Peralta of Sonora in a land grant. So they just fucking gave him 4,000 square miles of land. That's how bad it sucked back then in the desert. Nobody wanted to live there. The land not only contained a rich gold mine, but it also had several silver mines. There was the first official recording of the mine's existence. That is the lost Dutchman's mine that we're talking about. For the next century, the Peralta family and their laborers would make infrequent forays into Arizona, bringing out loads of ore. And when I say ore, I mean valuable metals that you mine from the earth that you can sell and make lots of fucking money. And I told you that part of the land grant was Don Peralta was given all of this land, but it wasn't like, okay, this is mine now. Gotta build a fucking house. Mm-hmm. There was still a shit ton of Indians, some mad-ass Indians up there that did not want them on the mountain, that did not want them disturbing anything on the mountain. So they would actually had to, when they wanted to mine the ore or the gold, they would have to like semi-sneak onto the mountain to do this and venture back, because even though there was a land grant, it was given to him, yada yada, there was still a lot of Native Americans there that did not want any trespassers at all, anyone infringing upon their land, stirring up spirits, pissing off the ghosts, all that stuff that we've done for many, many generations here in America that we love to do to the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept these mining trips to a minimum to not piss off the Indians. However, in 1846, 4 descendants of the original land grant, the 4 descendants were Enrico, Pedro, Ramon, and Manuel Peralta, decided to make another foray into Arizona, risking not only the curse, yes, there is a curse,
Of course.
but also the wrath of the Apache. They soon returned to Sonora, laden with gold and planning another trip. So they hit it big on that trip.
Good.
They got a lot of gold. They said, we're going back in just a few weeks, guys. We're going to do this all over again. The next year, with the Mexican-American War in full swing, Pedro was the only one willing to return to Arizona, determined to extract as much gold as possible before their holdings became part of the United States. In the meantime, the Apache were angry at the intrusion upon their sacred ground, rightfully so. When the Peralta miners heard that the Apache might attack them, they packed up, concealed the entrance to the mine, and with burros and wagons laden with gold began to make their way back to Mexico in the winter of 1847 and 1848. But they would not make it, unfortunately. They were attacked by the Apache Indians. Yeah, the pack mules scattered in all directions, spilling the gold everywhere.
Ouch.
For years afterward, prospectors flocked to the area not only in search of the mine, but also in search of Mexican gold spilled during the massacre. And this massacre is still talked about to this day. It's a big deal. And in the 1850s, 2 prospectors are said to have come upon 3 dead burros with intact pack saddles that contain some $37,000 worth of gold.
That's an 1850.
Yeah, I don't know what a burro is. Probably like a burrito. It's just a misspelled burrito.
It's a donkey.
Is that what? Oh, yeah. It's a more agile donkey.
It's like a mule.
Yeah. Okay. So they found $37,000 worth of gold.
That's 1850s money, man. That's
life-changing shit, bro.
That's like $40,000 now.
The Peralta family refrained even more from working the mines for the next 16 years because they just had that massacre on their hands. All the 4 heirs to the throne all got fucking killed out there in the desert and the mountains. However, money, greed, it doesn't pay. In 1864, Enrico Peralta, leading some 400 men, ventured back into the range. It would be his last. On the northwest slope of the mountain, in an area now referred to as Massacre Ground, all but one of the 400 miners were ambushed and killed by the Apache Indians. Never again did the Peralta family venture back to the mine, and all maps and knowledge of the lost Dutchman mine and its location were lost through the years. The next person to come across the mine was a man named Abraham Thorne, and this was in 1865. Thorne was working as an army doctor at out of Fort McDowell, Arizona. During this time, the Apache Indians had turned their wrath against the Arizona settlers and the U.S. Army. As the Indians were subdued by the soldiers, a reservation was established near Fort McDowell where Thorne began to provide services. He was executing medical procedures on some of the Indians. He was taking care of them, nursed them back to health. Thorne earned the respect of tribal leaders as he cared for the sick and injured, and after curing several Apaches of an eye disease, he was offered an opportunity to be led to the gold in the Superstitions in 1870. So all these years, all these people that went up to the lost Dutchman mine, this mine that's, I guess, completely packed to the brim with gold, enough gold that these guys were keeping it a secret and venturing back and forth for many years. But the Indians knew where the mine was at. But unfortunately, the massacre killed the 400 people that would have known where the mine was that contained all this gold. But this guy, what's his name? Abraham Thorne.
Thorne, yeah.
He'd taken such good care of these Indians that the Indians said, we'll take you up there to the mine. We'll show you where it's at. But there was some things he had to adhere to in order to go up to the mountain like he'd wanted. Thorne had to agree to be blindfolded for the 20-mile trip. When the doctor agreed, he was taken to a place that was allegedly near the mine, where a pile of gold ore had been stacked near the base of the canyon wall. And he was allowed to remove the blindfold. Thorne found himself in a canyon where a large, unusual rock pinnacle loomed to the south. And it's important to keep in mind this large rock pinnacle, to this day, is believed to be the landmark that you have to look for when you are trying to find the lost Dutchman's gold mine. Okay. And it's still a very notable landmark. I can't remember what it's called. We'll definitely talk about it a little later in the episode. The Apache let him pick up as much as he could before the doctor was once again blindfolded for the return trip. Thorne sold the ore for some $6,000, making him a very wealthy man at the time. Now, sometime later, Dr. Thorne decided to venture back to the mine without the Indians. But you'll recall the Indians, they had him blindfolded on the first trip, so he didn't know where the fuck he was going. But he gathered up a few of his closest friends, and if I was going to find a gold mine, and I had no idea where it was at, I would bring you, Rob.
Good.
We could die together out there.
Hell yeah. I'm down, man. Anytime.
The group amazingly stumbled onto the mine's location after many, many hours of searching. After filling their saddlebags with as much gold as they could carry, they started back to Phoenix but never lived to enjoy the wealth. They were discovered by the Apache Indians, who killed them before they would escape with the gold.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that
sucks.
In 1870, Jacob Waltz, who was actually the lost Dutchman, befriended one of the Peralta heirs. So the Peralta family, the original owners of the property, they had some heirs, not heirs, but heirs to the throne that still had a slight idea, maybe an inclination of where the mine might be. And Jacob Waltz befriended one of those heirs, and this person informed Jacob Waltz of where the mine location could perhaps be. Waltz was a German immigrant who had relocated to Arizona. He worked as a prospector. Hello there, prospector! And he lived on his homestead on the north side of the mountain. However, before relocating to what is now Pinal County, Arizona, Waltz worked at the Henry Wickenburg's Vulture Gold Mine near Wickenburg, Arizona. While there, he met an Apache girl named Ken T., who, despite the fact that Waltz was almost 60 years old, became his mistress. Later, Jacob Waltz was suspected of high-grading ore from the Vulture Mine and was dismissed. Hello there, prospector. You're probably wondering what high-grading means. Well, I'm here to tell you, prospector. High-grading was something that a lot of prospectors did back then. So you work in a gold mine with a lot of other guys. You guys up there on your lunch break, nobody brought food, so you guys all just start sucking each other off.
Naturally.
That's completely irrelevant to what I'm trying to tell you right now. But high-grading, some of the prospectors, some of the miners, they would kind of be picky. They would in terms of mining, it's not about, again, it's not about the big find. It's about how much fucking work you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And the high grading, there's some miners that would kind of sift through everything, and they would only get the high value ore. They would leave behind all of the small stuff that would eventually add up to be about as much as a big piece, but they would leave behind all the small, and to find the small stuff is, I guess, a little more tedious, a little more harder to do. But that's how these places made their money, but was not by picking and choosing which ore they wanted to keep, but literally by keeping all of the ore to sell. It all held value. So high grading were those guys that would only pick out the valuable pieces when they're up there mining.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's what he got dismissed for, was doing the high grading shit. So he moved with his mistress closer to the Superstition mountain range. Another version of this tale actually says that Waltz learned of the mine's location from Ken T., his new mistress. In retaliation, the Apache Indians, who were convinced that Ken T. had betrayed the site of their secret shrine, they attacked Waltz and his Indian mistress, seizing Ken T. and cutting out her tongue. Waltz, however, was able to escape, and before long was running a saloon in Tortilla Flats. That place sounds delicious. Tortilla Flats.
Oh,
I want
yes.
to go there.
Sign me up.
How you feeling? Are your kidney stones flaring on you? Are you okay?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, awesome.
Yep, so far so good.
Oh yeah, where kidney stones come from? It's from drinking too much goddamn Mountain Dew, is what they tell you it's from, man.
Yeah, man, I don't even drink much soda anymore, so I don't know. Unless they've just been chilling in there for years.
That's exactly what it is. It's
Yeah.
a residual thing. You've
Yep.
probably got so many in there that all it takes is one to get caught, buddy. And
I'm hoping it's just one.
when it does come out, though, I want you to understand that it's going to make your penis hurt.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm
It's gonna
fucking
make
scared.
Your back, your balls, and your butthole, and your taint all going to hurt. It's
Yeah.
going to feel like you've been stabbed
Yeah, I'm not
in the neck with a
looking
knife.
forward to it. I'm hoping it's like the, there's like a little effect where like they'll just sit there and bump against each other so much that they'll just break down.
They say that's possible?
No.
Okay.
I'm just hoping.
You're just playing this shit out in your head.
Yeah.
Hear me out for a second.
I'm so scared for my wiener.
What if you had someone willing to enter your body to attempt to destroy these stones, these infinity stones you have inside your
Like,
body?
like someone just go like Ant-Man and shrink down and just climb through my wiener?
I can't do that, Rob.
Okay,
But what I
damn.
can do is a promise that I will enter you and search for them.
Okay. I might take it.
Okay. I don't want you to jump to
I can definitely take it, but I
decisions.
might take you up on that offer.
I don't want you to go crazy right now.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I don't want to get your pickle too wet. I don't want to get your oyster moister than you can handle. But that's the offer that I'm willing to set forth
All
for
right.
you. And so we're leaving Tortilla Flats now.
I don't
We're
want to
going-
leave yet.
Yeah.
Let's stay here.
In 1877, Jacob and another man by the name of Jacob Wisner returned to the Superstitions, and not long after, the miners began to pay for supplies in nearby Phoenix. And this is what raised everybody's eyebrows. When they were paying for these things, like they're buying some high dollar, they're spending a lot of money. They were using high-grade gold ore. So they were using gold, and no one knew where this gold was coming from. It could have only came from one spot, and it was that sweet spot up in the mountain that nobody knew about.
Oh yeah.
But they never stated, the guys never stated where the gold actually had come from, and they never filed a claim either. A few years later, Wisner, the guy that worked with him, disappeared without a trace. Speculation was rampant, with some saying he was killed by the Apache and others alleging he was killed by Waltz. For the next 10 years, Waltz would often appear in Phoenix with saddlebags filled with some of the richest gold ore many had ever seen before disappearing once again into the Superstition Mountains. Now, people would often ask of him the obvious question, where was the gold coming from? Where was the lost Dutchman's mine? And at this time, it was not the lost Dutchman's mine. It was just a mine that was very fruitful. It was giving out lots of gold, lots of high-value shit. And everyone wanted to be where that was at. Everyone wanted to know where it was at. Everyone wanted to go mine that location. But this dude's lips are sealed. And spoiler alert, to this day, no one knows where it's at.
Oh damn, really?
And it's still there. Yep.
Wild.
To these questions, Jacob Waltz would give contradictory statements and directions. So
Oh yeah, keeping that secret.
sometimes
tight.
he would say, wait for the sun to get over your right shoulder when it's coming out of the west, and then start to head up the mountain straight up. The next time he would say, you got to work circles around the mountain because it's too steep, the terrain to go straight up. He would give all these guys the runaround directions on how to find this place. He just fucking lying through his teeth. When people tried to follow him out of town, he would lose them. And you think this is hard to do in this time with no cars and shit. And he had memorized so many of the clefts and canyons on the peak that he could dip into these clefts and canyons, much like the fucking midget people hiding, running around.
Fucking Ewoks.
He'd memorized all this stuff, so when people try and follow him up the mountain, he would just hide and dip out, and then they would lose him. They didn't know where he was at, and they couldn't follow him to the mine. So he had this shit. He had this shit all squared away, man. And in the spring of 1891, Waltz's homestead was caught in a flood, and he was saved from certain death by two brothers named Herman, what a fucking dumb name,
Herman.
and Reinhard Petrosch. Even
Oshkosh bagosh.
and at this time, after the flood, Jacob Waltz had taken on a terrible chill, much like a cold or pneumonia. He was attended to by a woman named Julia Thomas, who tried to nurse him back to health, but Jacob had indeed contracted pneumonia, not COVID-19.
Okay.
He sent friends back to his home to see if they could find the gold that he had kept inside of his house. Though the house was gone, searchers were able to locate 5 sacks of gold worth about $15,000. Now, they delivered it to Jacob. It was placed under his sick bed. Through the summer, he lingered in a wasted condition, giving clues to his caretaker, Julia, and to his rescuers, Herman and Reinhard, as to where the mine was actually located at. But his condition was worsening as he suffered a stroke and was paralyzed to the point that he could barely speak. Julia and the Ostraches would continue to make expeditions into the mountains in an attempt to find Jacob's mine. They went up into the mountains at one point for over 5 weeks and were unable to locate the mine. Then the inevitable happened on October 25th. That's your birthday?
24th.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
I feel like such a fucking piece of shit now. On October 25th, 1891, Jacob Waltz passed away at the same time, bringing to life the mine named the Lost Dutchman. So Jacob Waltz was German. This is at a time that Germans were easily confused as being Dutch. So even though Jacob Waltz was German, they all thought he was Dutch, and the name was born the Lost Dutchman's Mine, which, like I said, still stands, we believe, and is still hidden somewhere in the Superstition Mountains to this day. Julia Thomas, having invested everything she owned in the venture, the 5-week venture, to find the mine, never attempted to find it again. Herman accused his brother Reinhard of not paying attention to Jacob's bedside clues, and the disagreement led to they never talked again after this. They were so mad at one another. Separately, however, they both spent much of the rest of their lives searching madly. Is that a word? Madly. Mattingly. Don Mattingly, great baseball player.
Yeah,
for the Yankees.
I know that.
Madly, they were looking for the lost mine. Now, the legend of the lost mine, as well as the tales of its curse, continue to grow over the years as more and more stories were told relating mysterious death, disappearances, and small gold finds. So every single time someone would go find one of these, a little bit of gold, it would just, what's so funny?
On YouTube, Nate Norton said, "Has anyone tried taking a golden retriever up there? They literally have one job." That's well played.
Yeah, man. I think it could definitely work.
The golden retriever should definitely be able to get it.
Gold!
Well played, my friend.
Well played. And they kept on finding these little bits of gold, little bits of what have you, gold ore. And it would keep everybody, on the edge of their seats thinking, one day we're going to bust this motherfucker open. And here in a little bit, I'm going to tell you how many people have died.
Yes, good.
Searching for this gold.
That's what I want to know.
And I'll tell you right now, to this fucking day, my wife's father, he's 63-ish.
Mm-hmm.
He's obsessed with this mine.
Yeah, that's their backyard, man.
He has maps. He has literature from the libraries printed out on microfilm.
Holy shit.
He has it all because
That's
there
so
is
cool.
a belief by many of these old hippies out there in the desert, in the Phoenix Desert,
Mm-hmm.
that this mine is still out there and it's packed to the brim with gold, enough gold to change your life. And you can go look for it. You'll probably fucking die.
It's almost worth it.
Everybody else dies. Well.
We're all going to die one day.
And the legend had continued to grow over the years. In the summer of 1880, 2 recently discharged soldiers from Fort McDowell showed up in Pinole, Arizona, looking for work at the Silver King mine. When they showed a bag of gold ore to the Silver King manager, Aaron Mason, the manager was stunned to see how rich the ore was and immediately began to ask where they found that specific gold. The soldiers replied that the ore had been picked up while crossing Superstition Mountain, where they had also spied an old mine. Okay. Mason bought the ore from the men, outfitted them, and entered a partnership with the pair to share in the profits. The two, sure that they could find the place, then headed towards Weaver's Needle, and that's a really fun.
That is fun.
It's a fun name. That was the needle-like structure we spoke about earlier in the episode.
Okay.
That the Dr. Thorne or Thorpe Thorne, when he was blindfolded and taken up the mountain, he remembered a needle-like structure. And to this day, still standing is Weaver's Needle on the Superstition Mountains. And a lot of people believe that the Weaver's Needle, that corresponds with what the doctor had seen when he was blindfolded and taken to the mine. So if you go fucking climb this mountain and you get within, I don't know, view of this Weaver's Needle.
Yeah, let's pull up a picture. I want to see what this thing looks
You are
like.
in a good spot to possibly find
okay.
the
So
lost Dutchman's. Look at that.
So just the mountain's nipple, pretty much.
It looks like a really puffy nipple.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Okay.
The Weaver's Needle.
I wasn't expecting anything that big.
That's what she said.
Yes.
That's not what she said.
That's definitely not what she said.
And when you're searching for this thing, you got to keep it in your back of your mind. You're looking for this Weaver's Needle.
Mm-hmm.
Weaver Needle. Wiener Needle. That's my wiener. It's a needle.
The needle?
Needle dick. You ever see Waterboy?
Yeah.
Needle dick. That's such a good movie, isn't it?
It's a really good movie.
That guy that plays the football coach, best character in all of in the whole entire.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My children watched Forrest Gump yesterday, and they just sat there amazed. They said, my oldest daughter looked at my wife and said, literally, this movie is the only way our father speaks. Because my entire existence is me wandering around aimlessly quoting Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And every time I drink, I'll take a drink of water and I'll burp and I'll go brr, and I'll say, I must have drank me 16 Dr. Peppers. 15 Dr. Peppers. Must drink me 12 Dr. Peppers. Whatever. And I quote this movie all day long. When they go to leave for school, I always point their shoes. I do the finger gun. I go, those must be comfortable shoes. And they're always, why do you say that? Why do you say that? And they
get it.
They watched the movie. They said, this man literally doesn't speak anything besides this stupid fucking movie. This is the only thing he quotes. I don't argue with him. I don't argue with facts. Okay, Rob?
Sure. Yeah,
I
you
don't
can.
argue with facts. There's two things I don't argue with. I don't argue with facts. And I don't argue with my wife. Because it gets you fucking nowhere arguing with your wife.
It's true.
I know all the fucking cheat codes
Yeah,
with
man.
wives. I've told you guys this before. This is another cheat code. In order to get them going, you got to flip them in the butthole. You got to really flip them. And I want you guys to try it. For those of you listening that try, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We're going to read your story on the air about you flipping your wife in the butthole.
Yeah, we want to hear how that turns out.
She turns around, scratches your face like a panther. At least you got that.
Yeah, at
That's
least she'll get
hot.
mentioned on our podcast.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah.
That's hot. If she fucking flips you upside down and starts 69 you with your face in the mattress, that's weird.
You win.
That's crazy. That's the best is when your wife starts 69 you, but your face down the mattress. So her twat's in the back of your head and she's eating your butt. That's how the physics works out. If you've ever eaten your husband's butt, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, we're definitely going to get that email.
Yeah. Hi there. Don't use my name.
That's the only way we do it.
That's what he likes. So this group here, they headed towards Weaver's Needle. Who are we talking about? These two army dudes. And they were not back after 2 weeks. So they were gone for 2 weeks. And then the guy that they'd entered the business partnership with, Mason, he sent out a search party looking for the two Army veterans. They found their nude bodies.
Oh, yes.
Both of the men naked and shot in the head.
Oh, yeah.
Dead on the side of the mountain. So a scorned lover had happened upon them while they were mating.
2 men?
Yes.
Okay.
Hard mating on the side of the desert mountain.
Yeah.
Shot him in the head. I don't know why their fucking clothes is missing. Probably because they're hot.
Yeah.
It's the desert. It's hot.
Yeah, man, you got to shed them clothes.
But how weird is that? 2 of the guys that had come through town with the richest gold that these locals had seen in years. They knew that this gold could have only come from one place. It could have only come from the lost Dutchman's mine, And these guys thought they could get back to it. They never came back. Then they find their naked, dead bodies shot in the head on the side of the mountain. And the belief is that the Indians, and you got to think about this anytime you're fucking with Indians, the Apaches, the Pima Indians, the Cherokees, all these Indians that run the desert. They curse stuff, man. They put hexes, they put voodoo curses on stuff. So they think that the Apache killed a lot of people that were trying to find this mine. They think that the mountain itself is possibly cursed. Hence the reason why they call it the Superstition Mountains. There was a lot of other names for it. They had got the Thunder Mountain, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet, too.
That's why I call my penis, come up on Thunder Mountain. Be a cool name for a monster truck, too.
It would. Yeah, I like to call my toilet that.
Thunder Mountain.
Yeah. That thing's heard some thunder in its days.
The next year, a prospector. Hello there, prospector. I just like saying prospector.
Yeah, I like prospector.
By the name of Joe Deering, who was working as a part-time bartender in Pinal, heard the Pinal. Is it Pinal?
I think it's probably Pinal.
Pinal. Heard the stories
Pinal's funny, though.
He heard the stories of the two dead army soldiers and began to look for the lost mine. The Dutchman.
You had me at 2 naked men.
Oh, you said they were naked, right? How big were the sausages? He soon returned to Pinal, saying that he had found an old mine, describing it as the most god-awful, rough place you can imagine, even calling it a ghostly place. Deering, however, continued to work as a bartender until he could save enough money for the excavation. To make even more money, he then went to work at the Silver King mine. Just a week later, he was killed in a cave without ever disclosing the location to anyone.
Man.
And right now, we're just getting into the curses
of
the Lost Dutchman mine. All the people that, I guess, try to find the mine that are now dead.
Okay.
Another tale describes an eccentric hello there, prospector, named Elijah Marcus Rivas, who is better known in the area as the madman of the Superstitions or the Old Hermit. And this guy was fucking the craziest looking mountain rugged bastard I've ever seen in my whole fucking time alive on this earth. He is scary looking. He looks like if he saw you on a mountain, he would definitely kill you. Look at this dude.
Oh, damn.
Look how rough, look how crazy that dude looks.
Yeah, he does.
Look
Holy
at his
shit.
eyes, man. Look how nasty. You think he fingers his mom with those hands? Look how nasty those hands are.
Those are like Crypt Keeper hands.
He's got frostbite on his goddamn hand.
Man, that's a bad dude right there.
He's got a big old hook nose, which means he's got a huge dick. He's got nasty, runny, mangy black hair.
He's got a matted beard.
The most disgusting. He looks like a chow chow. He looks fucking gross.
He's definitely a feral man.
Can't even.
He's mange. He's got mange.
Look how big his dick is.
Yeah.
Got a belt buckle.
Oh, shit.
That just encompasses everything that I think that I would use to describe just a crazy, rugged mountain man.
Yeah.
In the Superstition Mountains. He does not fuck around. We got to GoFundMe a new hat for him because he needs a new hat. Look at that hat. That's an old, nasty hat.
Yeah, that definitely is, yeah.
So he was called the Old Hermit or the Madman of the Superstitions. One of the Arizona's most interesting characters, Rivas, or Beavis as his friends called him, was actually, he looked pretty crazy, but he was college educated and taught school before he began to prospect during the California Gold Rush. Not having much luck in California, he made his way to Arizona in the 1860s, and by 1872, Rivas Beavis was living in a high mountain valley near Pinal, where he farmed vegetables and hunted in his own isolated mountain retreat. That sounds fucking wonderful. Though he preferred his own company and his large library of books to being with others, so he'd rather just chill out and read, he never turned away a visitor to his retreat and often traveled to the area mining camps to sell his vegetables, or we call them vegetables. It was not his manner that earned him his eccentric reputation. Rather, it was his appearance, his high intelligence, and the isolated way that he lived. Never shaving or cutting his hair like we saw in the picture. He seldom bathed, and rumors said he was prone to running naked through the canyons.
Oh, yeah.
Firing a pistol into the sky,
Oh, yes.
sure that he was mad. Even the Apache left him alone. How fucking crazy do you have to be running through the mountains? And the Indians look up like, no, Squanto.
Fuck that guy. Yeah.
No, we're not. No.
Oh,
You
man.
gotta be pretty fucking wild, man. Maybe it was just a power move. I think I'm gonna try that this week. My
Sure.
neighbors
Yeah,
have
let me know how that goes.
really been getting on my nerves. I think if I just run through the street, cracking off rounds, I think that'll definitely get me where I need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Indians, they said, nah, fam, fuck that.
We ain't about that.
In the spring of 1896, when Rivas hadn't been seen for some time, one of his few friends went to check on him. The nearly 70-year-old man was found dead about 4 miles south of his home on a trail near Rogers Canyon. His head had been severed from his body and was lying several feet away from his corpse. Later that year, 2 Easterners went looking for the lost mine, and they were never to be seen again. Also, around the turn of the century, 2 prospectors who went by the names of Silverlock and Malm began to work on the northern edge of the Superstition Mountains. Sinking dozens of shafts into the mountainside, they found little gold, other than some scarce remains from the Peralta massacre. In 1910, Malm appeared in Mesa, Arizona, telling everyone that Silverlock had tried to kill him, his buddy that he was up there mining with.
Man, that crazy Silverlock.
Silverlock was picked up by the lawman, he was judged insane and sent to an asylum. Malm was later sent to the county poor farm, not doing much better himself. Both died within 2 years of their feverish search for the lost Dutchman's gold mine. Then again in 1910, a skeleton of a woman was found in a cave high up on Superstition Mountain. With the body were several gold nuggets.
Ooh.
Not turds, but gold nuggets. The coroner could tell that the woman's death was recent, but the gold was never explained. More than 20 years later, in 1927, a New Jersey man and his sons were hiking the mountain when rocks began to roll down on them from the cliffs above as if someone had pushed the boulders. One of the boys' legs were crushed. That sounds like it fucking hurt. Just a year later, 2 deer hunters were driven off the mountain when, again, rolling boulders appeared to have been pushed by someone or something down the mountain towards them. So these fellow prospector, they're up on the side of this mountain, and King Kong's up there pushing fucking boulders down the side of the mountain trying to squash him, man.
He always does that shit, man.
In June of 1931, yet another event added to the legend of Superstition Mountains, and this is a big one. When Adolf Ruth, a Washington, D.C. veterinarian, not the micropenis Adolf Hitler, but Adolf Ruth, was like we said, a Washington, D.C. veterinarian and avid treasure hunting hobbyist, went missing in a wilderness area of the peak. In his search, Ruth utilized a map that his son had obtained in Mexico several years prior, which dated back to the period of the Mexican Revolution, 1909 to 1923, and was later referred to as the Ruth Peralta map. Ruth was searching for lost Peralta's mines, especially that of the lost Dutchman. Arriving in the area in May, Ruth convinced 2 local cowboys to pack his fudge. Convinced 2 local cowboys to pack him into the mountains, where they left him to his exploring in a place called Willow Springs in West Boulder Canyon around June 14th of 1931. When nothing had been heard of Ruth for 6 days, the cowboys' boss, a man named Tex Barkley, went looking for the treasure.
That's a man's name right there.
And I know what he was yelling when he was walking up the side of the mountain. He said, "Hello, prospector! Prospect!" He was looking for old Adolf Ruth. Now, upon arriving at Ruth's camp, the rancher could tell that no one had been there for at least a day and reported Ruth missing. A reward was immediately offered by the family, and searchers combed the mountain for the next 45 days, but Ruth was never found.
Aww.
Some months later in December, a skull with 2 holes in it was discovered near the 3 Red Hills by an archaeological expedition. It turned out to be the skull of Adolf Ruth. 2 bullet holes in the head, guys. The rest of the treasure hunter's body would not be found until the next month in a small tributary On the east slope of Blacktop Mesa, Ruth's treasure map was found at his original campsite. The headlines were sensational, alleging that Ruth had been murdered for his map. However, the original coroner said that he could not be positive the skull had bullet holes in it, but Adolf's son, Erwin, was convinced his father had been killed. Though the coroner acceded that foul play might have been involved, the original statement was never changed. Most believe that Ruth died probably from the extreme desert heat, and his body was carried away in parts by wild animals. To this day, his death remains a mystery. However, it is but one more life claimed by the mountain and perhaps the curse of the lost Dutchman's mine. Prospector!
Yeah, cool. Get yourself a drink now. You earned that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, in June of 1947, a prospector named James Cravey made a much-publicized trip into the Superstition
I
Canyons.
love gravy.
He went by via helicopter in 1947. And I'll tell you a list of 4 or 5 motherfucking things I ain't riding in 1947.
No.
Number 1 on the list, a dick. Not riding a dick because they're all dirty, mangy, nasty, uncircumcised, long pubic hair. Number 2 on the list, things I'm not riding in 1947, helicopter. I'm not going to make the joke, Rob. I'm not going to make a helicopter joke.
Okay.
You know, it would, if I did that, I would just be a snake in the grass.
Would it go over my head?
Or a black mamba in the grass.
Don't do that.
Okay.
No.
James Cravey made a much-publicized trip into the Superstition Canyons by helicopter, searching for the lost Dutchman mine. This motherfucker had it coming to him if he dies. The pilot set him down in LaBarge Canyon close to the Weaver's Needle, right up there next to Weaver's Needle. When Cravey failed to hike out his plan, a search was started, and although his camp was found, Cravey was not.
Oh, man.
The following February, almost a whole entire goddamn year, his headless skeleton was found in a canyon a good distance from the camp. It was tied in a blanket, and his skull was found about 30 feet away. The coroners ruled that there was no evidence of foul play.
Okay.
I always die like this. In February of 1951, Dr. John Burns, a physician from Oregon, was found shot to death on Superstition Mountain.
Man, everybody.
The official ruling was that the death was accidental. Now, this guy in 1952, he was from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, shit.
Stand up, raise up, motherfucker, for D-Town 937. Joseph Kelly was also searching for the lost mine. He vanished and was never seen again. His skeleton was discovered near Weaver's Needle 2 years after he went on his original expedition. The shot in his skull was ruled an accidental shooting incident. Not a suicide, not a homicide. It was an accidental shooting. And then in 1955, Charles Massey, who was hunting with a .22 caliber rifle, was found shot between the eyes by a heavy caliber rifle bullet. So he was shot in the fucking head with a gun that wasn't his and wasn't on the scene. The coroner ruled it an accidental death resulting from a ricochet.
Okay, that makes sense. What the fuck?
Someone shot at him, missed,
Yeah.
bounced back on the rock, got him, and killed him. That's what they say.
Huh.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, not at all.
And then in 1956, January, a man from Brooklyn, New York, reported to police that his brother Martin Zweiwetho, who he believed was searching for the lost Dutchman mine, had been missing for several weeks. A month later, the missing man's body was found with a fucking bullet hole above his right temple. Although his gun was found under the body, the death was also ruled a suicide.
Fishy.
Very, very fishy.
Fishy.
And then in April of 1958, a deserted campsite was discovered on the northern edge of the mountain. At the campsite were a blood-stained blanket, a Geiger counter, a gun cleaning kit, but no gun, cooking utensils, and some letters from which the names and addresses had been torn from. No trace of the camp's occupant was ever found. In 1984, a prospector named Walt Gassler, who had been searching for the lost Dutchman for the most of his life, so for his entire life he'd been searching for this lost Dutchman's mine, was found dead in the Superstitions Mountain. In his pack was gold ore.
Ooh.
Later it was discovered to be the identical to that of the rich gold ore Jacob Waltz had found earlier in his life.
So he found the spot.
He found it, but then something got him. Something cut him down up there in those mountains, buddy. The lost mine is thought to be located somewhere near Weaver's Needle, like we said, the main landmark of the Superstition Mountains. Even though the area has been diligently searched, I do not recommend you go up there and look for it because it's treacherous, it's steep, it's rocky, there's rattlesnakes, it's the danger, it's the desert, it's dangerous. You'll die. You'll die because 600 people, prospectors, have gone before you looking for the fucking mine, and they have died themselves. 600 people.
Matching bullet holes, all of them.
Matching bullet holes.
Makes you wonder what the fuck did it.
Yeah. Jacob Waltz described the mine, and he's the one the mine is named after. He said the mine was a large funnel-shaped pit, and it's been searched for by thousands upon thousands of people. The Superstition mountain range covers approximately 160,000 acres of desolate, rugged terrain, so arid that only a pit of desert vegetation and a few sparse strands of ponderosa pine are all that grows on the Superstition Mountains.
All right.
Ponderosa, possibly one of the best buffets that's ever graced the United States of America. And those friends of ours from other countries not familiar with a buffet, I found out that some countries don't do buffets.
Okay.
What they do is they saddle us Americans up to a pig trough, and they put out as much food as we can eat. As much food. A China buffet is probably my favorite.
Mine too. Yeah, one price, as much food as you can eat.
You don't stay all day, though.
No.
They put up a sign that says, stay all day.
Yeah.
We know like that. Yeah, that's what a buffet is.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to a fancy one, it's called a buffet. If I'm going to Golden Corral, just a buffet.
Sure.
Going to a buffet.
Yeah.
But if I'm getting dressed up, if I'm putting on my snakeskin boots, something real fucking snazzy, we're going to the buffet. You feel me?
I feel you.
All right. Jacob Waltz. How big was it? Keep in mind, he came from a time when men had a lot smaller dicks. Lots smaller dicks. They weren't healthy and purebred like us.
I'm still gonna say big for the time. Like 3 inches.
3 inches, huh?
Is that big for the time? I don't know.
That's huge, dude.
Okay.
That's a fucking hysterectomy hanging from your waist right there.
There you go.
I think, in terms of Jacob Waltz, 4 1/8.
Okay.
4 1/8 of
Respectable.
inch penis. And a life hack I've presented you folks with so many times before, when a female asks how big your penis is, you tell her in centimeters, even though she wants to know in inches. You tell her in centimeters.
Makes everyone feel better.
So when I tell a lady that I've got a 6er.
6 centimeters.
When I tell my wife I got a hot 6er waiting for her, got a hot 6-pack. When I tell my wife I got a hot and ready from Little Caesars waiting on her.
Oh, get that large pepperoni, dog.
I am in that stage of my marriage where my sexual advances don't work that well anymore. It's either happening or it's not happening.
You're right.
There's nothing that I can do to control the fate of the universe. There's nothing that I could do. You feel me?
I do. I feel you, man.
Man. So let's go back to this guy right here. How big do you think?
Oh, dude. That dude's got a fucking salami in his pants.
Salami. Open image and new tab. Let's open it up, and we're going to open this up for
our YouTube friends.
What do you YouTubers
Look at this guy.
think? Look at him.
Beautiful man.
Look how crazy he
You can
looks.
see his dick sitting on his right leg.
Yeah, it's huge. Let's blow him up.
Yeah,
Look at him.
Them crazy eyes.
Look at him, YouTube.
Scroll down there. Look at them hands.
Those dirty ass hands just look like he got done fucking mining snow. He's got frostbite.
Yeah.
He just got done giving Olaf a hand ski. You got the little buttons on his shirt. Look at that nasty ass.
God, but he smells so bad.
Look at the fucking beard on that guy.
Yeah, it's matted.
That beard looks like it smells like butane and fucking butt farts.
Butt farts.
Not pussy farts.
As opposed to pussy farts.
Yeah. Looks like it smells like Taco Bell.
Yeah, that beard's probably seen many of farts.
Do you ever just look at someone from history, just like this guy right here?
Mm-hmm.
They say he was a scholar. He was fucking brilliant.
There's no way. He looks like he drinks antifreeze.
I believe it, but it's been like my lifetime, my entire life. I've wanted to do this. I want to be able to bring people back from the dead for one day. Give them to me for one day,
Just so they could see what it's like.
and I want to take them to Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
I want to take them, to Applebee's, all the cool places that we can get some good ass fucking grub.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take a selfie with them. Just bring them back for a day. And I am so excited. We're pretty locked up in terms of technology right now because we're struggling with this little COVID bug.
Right.
I think that I hope that we can progress technologically. We've done so much over the past 30 years, bro. Whenever 30 years ago when you and I were toddlers, we can take this guy off the screen now.
No, scroll down to his meat.
Okay.
Let everybody see his meat. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at that. Tell me that's not a flopper
It's
right
a
there.
hot salami sandwich.
Yeah, he's a grower, he's a shower, not a grower.
Think about the technology available when you and I were in kindergarten. We still used, in kindergarten, there were no DVDs.
Nah.
There was no
We had to play computer games. We had to play it on disk drives.
satellite TV, no direct TV,
Floppy disks, man. Remember that shit?
floppy dick. I got that in kindergarten. My Uncle Howard would
I
come
still do.
over. Yeah. My Uncle Howard would be like, we're going to play that game we don't tell your mom about. I always tell my mom. She's like, yeah, you got a big dick.
Yeah,
I know that doesn't feel good.
it has changed a lot, man.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, but I feel like right now we are kind of stuck I think we're kind of stuck for a couple decades.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know why I got that vibe, but I just feel like maybe we're gonna be stuck for a couple decades.
We got to find more alien technology to
Yeah.
research from.
But then as soon as I say something, we'll make some kind of crazy breakthrough. I'm interested to
Sure.
see what's on the horizon. I remember my dad bought a stolen Dreamcast.
Hell
whenever
yeah.
I was in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought it home in a fucking paper sack, like a brown. I thought he was bringing home groceries. I thought
Yeah.
he stopped from my mom to get a Kroger. Stopped at Kroger's.
The Dreamcast was the shit.
He dropped it on the carpet in the living room and said, "Plug it in." And I said, "What the fuck is this?" It was a Sega Dreamcast. And I said, "Daddy."
It was such a good system for Sega to go out on.
It was. It was a really good one.
Yeah.
And I said, "Dad, I love you, man." And he said, "I don't say that shit to you. You're a boy. I don't say that shit to you." But no, I was so excited just to see how cool all of us to be there in the living room together, to experience the Dreamcast for the very first time together. My dad just looked at the screen and he's saying, "Wow, this is fucking incredible, dude. This is incredible."
Yeah.
But now I got a PlayStation 5. The whole family plays it. It is fucking the graphics are immaculate. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's the same thing my dad went through 30 years ago when we got the Dreamcast. I'm going through it with my kids with the PlayStation. My kids
Crazy, man.
My fucking kids aren't even impressed by it. I'm like, "Look how real that person looks." And they're just saying,
That's all they know.
"Not really."
Yeah, that's all they know, man.
Yeah. Not since Cincinnati, I think as of October has to go to 10-digit dialing for their phone.
Yeah.
This is happening in a lot more and more cities around here. We used to just be able to dial 7 numbers in Dayton up until a couple years ago. And they were talking about on the radio today, they said kids don't know when you say you're going to dial a number, they don't know what that means. They don't know what it means to dial a phone. And I remember using the rotary phone.
rotaries? Yeah.
My grandpa had, well, he wasn't a grandpa. He was just like a close family friend we called grandpa.
I didn't have too many of those I interacted with, but I'd used them time for time.
Yeah. That makes us stronger.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
last longer in the zombie apocalypse because we know how to use
Yeah.
that shit.
Exactly. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. So hopefully we'll be back with you guys on Thursday.
Yeah.
Although it's not a huge rush for us. If Life gets in the way.
Which it does.
One of us gets a kidney stone or something. I don't know.
One of us gets pink eye again.
Yeah, pink eye, stink eye, queer eye for the straight guy.
Hopefully we'll see you on Thursday, though.
I appreciate you guys so much tuning in. Thank you so much. We're going to be lining up a live show in Columbus, so listen for more details. Thank you so much for listening.
We love you guys.
All right.
Pee break from a YouTube. Bye, guys.
Alrighty. YouTube. Yep. I always feel like somebody's watching me. And I can't. Me too. Quiet the party here. All right, guys. Thank you so much for the YouTube stream. You guys ever film naked wrestling videos with your pastor at Sunday school? Asking for a friend. Yes, as a matter of fact, I have. Watching naked. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you next week.